because there are people that are like, well, the MCU is becoming the MCU with all these females coming around. What do you say to like commenters like that?
I don't know. Sorry, can I say that? I don't know. I can't
you can say
that.
it with me. Hello, I am Emmanuel Noisette, or Eman from Eman's Movie Reviews out here in Chicago. Meera, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome. So I want to just dive right into this because I really enjoyed episode 2, because it started to talk about a concept of shame and honor. And, we've seen this in like different cultures before, but I was wondering if maybe you can help in how do those concepts really work in this story, and help us understand like what does that really mean for a South Asian community?
I think are you talking specifically about the scene in the mosque with Nakia and Kamala and Kamala objecting to the partition?
I will talk about that, but I was actually referring to her great grandmother and how, we can't talk about her. Like we don't talk about Bruno.
You mean like we don't talk about Bruno kind of thing.
Right. Because some people might think like, why don't you just talk about it? What's the big deal?
Yeah, totally. I love this question. This is the first time someone's asked about this because I think that is the richness that this show is exploring, is this cultural this cultural tendency that does feel specific to South Asian culture, but so many cultures that are kind of torn between the old world and the new world, whatever that means. That can mean different things in different places and different parts of the world. In the context of the Khans and Kamala Khan's family, it has to do with this sense of not just shame but trauma and pain from partition, and the ways in which pain and trauma is transferred generationally, is inherited by generations that proceed the ones that experience it. And I think the result or the effect of that transference of pain and trauma is repression, is exactly that, is kind of secrecy, is a sense that like it's too hard to talk about these things, so let's just not talk about them, and let's just try and pretend they didn't exist and just move on with our lives and try and do or be good in the ways that Muniba thinks that Kamala needs to, do or be good. At the end of episode 1, when she tells Kamala, do you want to like be good, or do you want to be this like cosmic head in the clouds person? That is so relatable, I think, to any South Asian kid of immigrants, this like feeling that their parents were so worried that they were going to get lost by coming to this country and getting absorbed by the kind of cultural hyperdrive of what goes on in America. I think this show is touching on something very real there for sure.
No, I love that. I mean, I'm Haitian American, so we have similar, things that you guys touched on. So that's totally relatable indeed. But to go to your other point about the mosque situation, I love what you guys were doing with Yasmin's character. And I was wondering, you're pushing like more progressive ideals for Muslim women in the culture. Did you have like any concerns, about pushback from the more conservative side of the Muslim community?
Absolutely. I mean, there were always concerns, but there is also always an understanding that the Muslim community, like any other community, is not a monolith. There are way too many experiences throughout the world, that this show was not going to be able to represent all of them. And so our desire was to get as specific as possible to these characters and just make them feel as specific as possible, so that in their specificity, they become universal, right? So Yasmin and her, the way she inhabited Nakia, I think is brilliant. I think she's strong, she's confident, she's bold, she has a voice, she knows who she is. She has that conversation with Kamala in the bathroom in episode 2, where she talks about her choice to wear hijab and how it makes her feel more like herself than she's ever felt. And I think, that was really a scene that she and Sana Amanat, the executive producer and co-creator of the comics, they and our producer Jenna Berger, they really came together I think it was almost like the night before, like really like very close to us filming that scene, combed through it, really thought about what they wanted to say with that scene. That was really a moment for Yasmin to be in dialogue with her own character and express something of her own sense of what this character is doing and why she's doing it from her point of view. And so by emboldening and empowering, I think the creative voices behind the show to speak their truth through these characters, I think we're hoping to be as universal as possible, by again, being as specific to the people that created the show as possible.
No, totally. I hear you on that. So unfortunately, the internet is a very dark and ugly place at times. And anytime we get something kind of progressive, whether it's someone of color or if it's, you know, female or, you know, a different sexual orientation. And I was wondering, like, you know, because there are people that are like, well, the MCU is becoming the MCU with all these females coming around. What do you say to like commenters like that?
Fuck off. I don't know. Sorry, can I say that? I don't know. I can't
say it with me.
I didn't say that.
Okay. All right. I think that perfectly answers it.
No. I'll answer that question. I just like I like don't even know what to say to those people, you know, like I think it's not, this show isn't meant to, it's not meant to alienate anyone. It's not trying to be political. It's not trying to be didactic. It's trying to tell the story of, you know, a young girl that's just going through a very, you know, your average kind of teenage American life experience. And yeah, her parents are putting restrictions on her. And yeah, you know, like she's dealing with some elements that are culturally specific, but at the end of the day, I think everything she's going through is so relatable to anyone that have parents that just don't understand, you know, like it's like I don't really see how her gender or her ethnicity or her religion or any of that stuff is really, you know, the thing that makes her different. If anything, it makes her more the same, you know. It's like that thing, we have more in common than we do different. And I think if people really watch the show, they'll see that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But I stand by my first reaction.
Oh, I love that first reaction. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.